So it's time to start making citizens arrests of judges, of the entire police force needs disbanding. Unfortunately, again, collectively, the entire society is involved. Well, so it's not society's fault because most people are brainwashed, but people who should know better, like judges, who they can research these things just like I've researched them. And they can very clearly see that these teenage girls that they keep on letting off, who punch men and kill them with one punch, and the judges just cannot get their head around it. That's nonsense. He must have died from some of the complication. Um, you know, uh, Again, always 100% of the time they walk free. Yet we've got evidence here, and it's not hard. Even sports science proved that the female boxer actually punched 200 pounds harder, than the professional male boxer, this big black guy with muscles. So again, there's no excuses. It's basically what they're involved in is they're colluding in a criminal conspiracy to cover up murder. So Stacey Hyde, if you don't know Stacey Hyde, uh, a 17-year-old crazy girl, um, uh, wanted to stay. She wanted to stay around her friend's house, and she wanted to fight the 35-year-old her 35-year-old boyfriend. Kill him basically. Uh, Kick the shit out of him or kill him. And she came in drunk. She was too drunk to fight, so she fell asleep. Her friend put her up to all of this, of course. Again, they all got off scot free. Of course, the guy's dead. I'll tell you what happened. So, basically, she calls the 17-year-old girl into her bedroom at 4 o'clock in the morning to fight him, to fight her boyfriend. I don't know. It probably was some sort of. Most girls, you know, they like it. It turns them on to see their boyfriends beat up by their girlfriends. Um, so that's what happened, and he had no choice apart from to defend himself. He didn't, as far as I can gather, he didn't do anything apart from grab her by the hair and try and remove her from his house. But as they got outside, she apparently kicked out and punched and stuff. Eyewitnesses said he basically the jury the so prosecution or the defence or whatever, they admitted that at that point he had lost the fist fight. Okay, he'd lost the fight, and he was walking away. He was basically kicked out of his own house at 4 o'clock in the morning because he lost a fight with a teenage girl, who you know wanted to come round to fight him. And that was it. So he was walking away. So that's a great victory for her. Surely that's going to be satisfying enough to win the fight, and for him to have to go and go off with his tail between his legs. This great big muscly guy. He's a great big muscly guy, he was. And Stacey Hyde is a little thin 17-year-old teenage girl. But no, that wasn't enough for her. Stacey Hyde went and got a kitchen knife and ran up behind him and stabbed him twice in the back. He turned around to try and defend himself, and she stabbed him again in the front. And that was it. He was already dead. Now, as far as I can gather, I might be wrong about this because it's very hard to get information, but it appears that he tried to basically, at that point, no other time did he seriously try and fight this girl. Even the experts said she had no marks on her to show that she was in a two-way fight. It was really just a one-way fight. This poor guy just wanted to go to sleep. It was 4 in the morning. This crazy woman. So basically, he's already dead. Unfortunately, at this point, these three knife wounds are fatal. It's going to take him an hour to bleed to death, but he realizes at this point that he literally has to knock her out, or well, He has to fight back, because if he doesn't, he's already dead, but he's definitely dead if he doesn't. So, as far as I understand, as far as I can gather, he then started to, try and choke her unconscious, and he did. He choked her unconscious, but didn't kill her. I think he staggered to the bathroom. This is as far as I understand it. And then, a couple of minutes later, Stacey was fine again. She'd come round, picked up the kitchen knife, and even though he was dying in the bathroom, she went back into the bathroom and stabbed him another 17 times. Okay, the courts found her not guilty, and now that is the final straw. Okay, it doesn't get any worse than that. I mean, we've got that petite babyface girl who she was bullying this 50-year-old guy, telling him to apologise to her lesbian girlfriend, as far as I understand it, because he bumped into her. Again, she wanted a fight. She just was being a bully. Again, the reason this guy died, the reason the guy she punched died, is because he didn't know. Because the police and the courts and the media are involved in a criminal conspiracy to try and pretend that girls are all sweet and pie and nice, and they're not capable of such things. The judges pretend, after these people die from one punch, that girls aren't capable of such things. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. We can't have, just laymen like me being able to very quickly get evidence to prove that these girls are punching as hard as great big massive muscly men, or harder. So this is nonsense. So we have clearly here a major criminal conspiracy, plenty enough evidence, if we gather it all together, to completely like I say, the men in the police force, and not all of them, of course, not all of the judges, of course, but a vast majority of them are involved in some sort of deception and trick, which is basically covering up for a continued murder. Lower the word for it. And again, because men aren't being told the truth, and we've had all this bullshit for 30 or 40 years. I mean, I was brought up on of mice and men. I was told that if you hug a girl too tightly, you might accidentally kill her. Absolute shit we were taught. And then this obsession with rape. My first girlfriend, someone apparently tried to rape her, and she said, she had absolutely no problem. She's 5'1". She had no problem fighting. In fact, she actually liked violence. She told me, she enjoyed fighting him off, because I don't know. I don't know what was happening there exactly, but very clearly, women are made evolution. It's an evolution imperative. Because what happened before the police? So the police actually have made things worse, we discover. They've tried to give the impression that women cannot do without a police force to protect them. Well, obviously, what happened before then is women could actually defeat maybe nine men out of 10. If anyone attacked a teenage girls are designed from the age of sort of 13 onwards, from when grown men are going to find them sexually attractive. They are designed to be able to protect themselves and to very, very efficiently and effectively fight off men. Okay, so I mean, I can go on, but it turns out that all of this discussion, all of this talk throughout the 1970s and the 1980s, that about rape, and that trying to convince women that they should just do nothing in case they might get hurt more. That in itself, it turns out, was an act of criminality. As simple as that. Thousands of women were raped unnecessarily. They could have very easily dealt with the situation and fought off their attacker, and only now that's they're confident enough to do so. And there was a report on CNN of a woman that her husband hired a hitman hired a professional killer, a hitman, to kill her. And what did she do? She had a fist fight with the with him, and she killed him. But actually, even that story was, very wrong, because as she apparently she said, and she said this on CNN. She said, "I will give you a chance." This is what she said to the guy as she was killing him. She said, "I'll give you a chance to survive if you tell me who sent you." And the guy refused to tell her who sent him, so she killed him. Apparently, again, more criminality, simple as that. But that's a man couldn't do something like that. He clearly made a conscious decision. She clearly made a conscious decision to use excessive force, use more force than she needed, and kill the assassin. And she was glorified for it on CNN. And the message now, it turns out we've been giving women the wrong message for all these years. The message now is fight back. And there's a picture of a guy with panda eyes, black eyes. He tried to rape some woman who's been shot. But one of the things you need to know, and this is just more evidence of the criminality involved here, is remember the Sarah Everard event. I'm calling it an event because it was a staged fake news event. Okay, I can prove that in court. I have the proof. It doesn't matter because we've got a problem with the police. Of course, it's been the same problem with the police and the courts for a long time. It's called Freemasonry, and it's called MI6 or MI5. Again, these are military operations, and they'll just be closed down. Simple as that. The police cannot investigate them. They are above the law. It's state terrorism. So what I'm saying here is that, again, they created a fake story of someone called Sarah Everard who was killed by a policeman. In fact, a policeman doing the job my father as a policeman used to do, close protection work. Very bizarre to say the least, but it was a event intended to create fear in women and to try and justify the idea that we continue from the 1970s that women need the police to protect them from being all of this actually turned out to be absolute shit. And of course, we are a nation which, because the politicians are corrupt and they're terrified of us, revolting. We're not even allowed, anything sharp like a CD, because a CD is sharp and can cut people. Yeah, it's the police state and the nanny state gone perversely mad to the point where you have to be attacked or knifed, and then you have to wait for an appointment to see the police after the event to be a good citizen. So this is nonsense. Of course, it's absolutely more criminal. It's more criminality. We will actually be better off disbanding the police, completely disbanding the police, because they do more harm than good. I'm afraid to say, we don't see them anyway. There is no Bobby on the street as a preventative, like they used to be. Okay, I could go on and on, but obviously I think I've made my point. That's the reason why. All of this male versus female fight club. Obviously, I've always said from the start. I'm not fighting. I will practice self-defense. I mean, when I say self-defense, I mean I will actually defend. I will never punch a woman in the face or anywhere else. But I will let a woman. I'm a big guy. I will let a woman attack me because I first of all need to learn how to defend myself in a situation with women becoming more aggressive and stuff. So, and secondly, this is probably the most effective, actually the most effective way to teach people the truth. There's no real other way of teaching people the truth than from example. And I collect those examples.